Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Word Christian Ministries Inspiration Corner. My name is Gary Taylor, and today I want to talk to you about something that's going to really blow your mind. Have you ever thought about how God moves? He moves like he wants to move, when he wants to move, and how he wants to move. What do you mean by that? I think about Abraham. Remember, Abraham was minding his own business, and God says, get out of thy country, from thy father's house, unto a land that I'm going to show you. But one of my favorite stories in the Bible about movement and about placement is Elijah and Elisha. Wow, this story is powerful. Let me tell you why. Because while Elisha on one side is doing what he does and working in his father's business, God has another plan for him that lets me know and lets you know that God has another plan for you. No matter what you're doing, God's purpose will always find you. So what happens? Well, he's plowing, doing his thing. While he's doing that, God is speaking to Elijah about Elisha. So God tells Elijah, go get Elisha and anoint him or bless him or prepare him for this next move in his life. In other words, he's going to take your place. So what ends up happening is Elijah does just that. He finds Elisha doing what? Plowing. He's working. That lets me know that God will find you no matter where you are. And he finds busy people, not lazy people. He finds people that are doing things. So what ends up happening? Well, he's plowing behind this ox, doing what he always does. And Elijah shows up and he takes his mantle and drapes it across his shoulders. And Elisha says this, let me go and kiss my mother and my father, because this signifies that I'm going to a new place and a fresh place in my life, and I know I can't stay here. Do you realize that God has something so powerful for you that he's going to move you from one place to another? Are you ready for this next move? I know you've gone through a lot. I know you've been working a lot in the vineyard, but now God is getting ready to move you. He's going to find you very, very soon. Because God's purpose and plan will not be halted by what's going on in your everyday life. So watch this. So what ends up happening is he's plowing, minding his own business, and then Elijah shows up. He puts the mantle or cloak on Elisha's shoulder. Elisha does this. Hey, I recognize what this means. God is taking me to another place. And he says, let me go and tell my father and my mother the good news that I'm getting ready to leave this. I'm getting ready to blow this town. Because God has called me to a higher place. So he goes and he has this dinner, this farewell dinner. They boil the ox and cook it and have a big old barbecue, all right? Having a celebration. In one sense, it's bittersweet. Why? Because anytime God is getting ready to take you from one place to another, it's going to be bittersweet because you're stepping away from the familiar into the unfamiliar. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, it causes you to feel uncomfortable. But when you know it's God's will for you, when you know it's God's will, in spite of you being uncomfortable, you will still move forward. Well, his family understood what was going on, and they released him. And for 7 years, I believe it was, Elisha didn't do anything but serve Elijah by pouring water on his hands. Now, the reason why he was comfortable in that position is because where God is taking him. Never get frustrated when God takes you somewhere and puts you in a place of learning or a protege's place where he's showing you what he wants you to do, showing you how to serve. That's what he did. But there came a time when a whirlwind showed up and Elijah was taken up by a whirlwind and he dropped the mantle that he was carrying, that mantle that demonstrated the power of God. And Elisha caught it. And when he caught it, let me tell you what happened. When he caught the mantle, that fell. He says, where is the God of Elijah? And he took that mantle and he slapped the waters where he was, and the waters began to depart, one from the other. So he walked over on dry ground. Let me tell you something. Anytime God does something powerful in your life, he will also have people watching you. There were prophets on the other side watching him and saying, he has the same anointing, the same power, the same glory as his teacher Elijah. God is going to set you up to be in a place where when you move in the things of God, he's going to make sure that people see it. I'm telling you right now, it's time for you to put the mantle on. It's time for you to put on what God is calling you to and calling you for. Get out of the unfamiliar into the familiar plan of God. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this now. You're going to feel uncomfortable, but be not weary in well-doing, for you will reap if you faint not. Keep on moving forward and wear this mantle, because every place you go, the presence of God is going with you. Let's go. Let's do the plan of God and work of God for our lives.